Hello, I'm the MLP Reviewer 66. Seeing as how Season 4 is going to come out before too long, I think there's going to be a lot of theories about what alicorns are and where they came from. Same thing as what's been happening since the very beginning of the show. But since we finally have an alicorn princess as one of the main characters, I think we're finally going to get an actual answer from the creators of the show of what an alicorn is and where it came from. At least that's what I'm hoping. But I'd like to give my own little fan interpretation of what they are and where they came from. Now, to do this, we're going to have to go back in the timeline. Remember, this is just my fan theory. This is not canon. Although I wish it was canon and I hope it will become canon, I doubt it is because mine is a little bit out there on my fan theory of this. But here's my theory in a nutshell. You have to go way back in time, back before even the founding of Equestria. There was only one type of pony, I theorize, and that was the Earthbounds, and they worshipped these godlike creatures known as alicorns. Now, I believe that these alicorns are more related to the Greek and Roman gods. Now, you may be saying, well, why is that? Well, put it this way. We think of a god as an all-powerful creature who has the divine right to rule over everything. However, in Greek and Roman, although it was similar, it was not completely like that. A lot of people say that Princess Celestia could not be a god because she was defeated by Queen Chrysalis, or Queen Chrysalis, yeah. And so she couldn't possibly be a god. So, what was that meaning? Well, either one, the theory is wrong and they are simply royalty, or they are more related to the Greek and Roman gods than they are to the Christian-like god. What I mean by that is, in the Greek and Roman gods, each individual Greek and Roman god had specific jobs they did. Each one did a very specific thing. Unlike the Christian God, where he does everything. Now, I know this is a bit confusing, but just go with me on this. I believe that the alicorns were basically the gods of that universe, each one having a very specific job. Just take Twilight, Celestia, Luna, and Cadence. The modern day alicorns. Cadence is basically, if you want to take it to the more extreme level, the goddess of love. Celestia and Luna are the goddesses of night and day. And Twilight is the goddess of, I don't know because we haven't got that far in the story, I'm guessing knowledge, and or being a balance between Luna and Celestia. Now, here's my theory. Back in the olden days, there was only that one race of pony, which was the Earthbounds, that worshipped the alicorns as gods. And just like in the Greek and Roman story, where you have something like, just take for example, Zeus. Zeus would take many different human girls to become his mate, or his mates, because of the fact that he was a bit of a player, I suppose you could say. And he created many demigods. Demigods are basically people who have the same powers as gods, but they are not immortal. They have incredible power, but they are not immortal. That's where I believe the Pegasi and unicorns come into play. Some ponies inherited the power of flight. Some inherited magic. And those that chose not to mate simply had the power of, what they always had, the strength of their backs and the will of their hearts. Yeah, we've always all the MLP fans kind of tease the Earthbounds for not having anything to go with, no wings, no magic. But I will say, they do have something that the regular ponies don't have. It's made pretty simply that the further in the story that the unicorns have become soft and a bit preppy in their towers being fancy, and basically the Pegasi are being more jockey and out there and more warrior-like and all this, but the Earthbounds have been more humble and more hard-working, which is character traits I suppose you could very much agree with. Those are character traits you could sort of look up to, I suppose you could say. But my theory is this, that as the time went on, there was very few alicorns left, mainly because probably they fought each other for power, and since they were immortal, they probably didn't find much use in creating offspring, because they were immortal. Why would they need such things, besides the offspring that were going to die because they were not immortal? So, yeah. And the end of this, you would kind of think that there would be very few alicorns. Now, I do theorize that maybe Celestia and Luna's mom and dad raised them away from all the violence, but when Discord started causing trouble, it was just too much for Celestia and Luna, and so they decided to snap into action and say, okay, we're done of the world being in constant chaos, so we're going to basically make order to the chaos. Yeah, it's a pretty simple thing, because think about this. Celestia and Luna just simply got fed up with it and made that. And made peace, basically harmony. The elements of harmony, to be exact.